Luckin Coffee is a Chinese coffee company which competes with Starbucks in China and has gained quite a bit of popularity, at least in the investing world, recently. The company listed itself in the US exchange about a year ago, and since then has been a popular stock among investors. Initially, when the stock came out, it did pretty well. Investors were excited to own this company, everything looked good, but just in the last week, some huge news came out about the company, which we'll get into in a minute, but this caused the stock to crash well below its IPO price and down over 90% from its highs in just a few months. As a result, right now, Luckin Coffee stock is sitting at around $5 per share. So this has a lot of investors worried. Investors who are holding the stock before this crash are wondering what they should do with their position right now. But on the flip side, you have a lot of investors who did not own the stock before that are looking at the stock right now and thinking, maybe this is a good investment at these prices. So what we're going to do today is kind of cover what happened here with Luckin stock, what caused the stock to crash so drastically, and then I'm going to discuss with you if I plan to own this stock in my portfolio, what my thoughts are around this company, and kind of spend some time discussing this possible investment. As always, if you like this quick update here on this stock, make sure you drop a like down below. It's all you have to do to support the channel. And hit the subscribe button if you're brand new here as well, so you don't miss any new videos that I post on a regular basis. Also, FYI, if you hit that bell notification, you'll know exactly when new videos come out for me. So make sure you do that as well when you hit the subscribe button. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's start off with the big news that broke this week around Luckin Coffee. So news broke that the COO at Luckin Coffee inflated their sales numbers quite significantly by around $300 million or so between April 1st and September 30th of last year. This is also around the time when the company IPO'd, so it seems like it was done to make the company look like it was in better financial position to attract those early investors. Regardless, the cat's out of the bag now, and the company claims that the COO was the one who did this. Now you gotta be kidding me. You expect me to believe that only the COO knew about this and none of the upper management was involved with this? In my opinion, there's a very high probability, 100%, that the CEO and other board members were also involved with fabricating these lies. There's no way, in my opinion, that something like this can just slip through the cracks and no one thinks to question it or look into it, especially when the numbers are inflated at such a large amount. But of course, this is just speculation, and the problem is that there's just such a lack of transparency when it comes to Chinese companies that we may actually never know or find out more about this. But I'll tell you this, I personally expect that most, if not all, of their management team would have to step down after this because investors would have probably lost confidence at this point in the whole management team, not just COO like they're trying to portray here. And the funny part is that this whole situation is pretty ironic. Back in January, there's this research firm called Muddy Waters, and they came out and publicly stated that, one, they had a short position in Luckin Coffee, and two, they believed that Luckin Coffee had been inflating numbers for a number of items that it sells, aka inflating its earnings and revenue. And here's the original tweet, which is still up on their Twitter profile, so if you wanted to go and read that report, they have it attached there as well. And the funny thing is, a little bit after they posted this, one of their peers, Citron Research, who also comes out and tries to find companies that are doing shady things, back then tweeted that they thought Muddy was wrong and that all the numbers that Luckin reported were true. Well, I guess someone just lost some credibility here, eh? And the story just gets better from here after this report and these tweets came out. The company publicly made a statement on their website saying they deny these claims and that everything was fine and dandy at the company. They probably just hoped that this was a one-time thing an anonymous person released, and there was no credibility behind it and no one will remember this in just a few weeks. So what they did was try to pretend like everything was good. They carried on with their growing business, and then a few weeks later, bam, news was released confirming this allegation. Now this puts this company in a very tough position because they've essentially overnight lost the trust of investors. And of course, because it's a Chinese company, this just adds to the fear that a lot of people already have, which is that Chinese companies may not be truthful completely with all the numbers that they report. And I'm talking even some of the big giants like Alibaba, Tencent, JD. We don't really know if those figures are 100% truthful and accurate. Sure, I don't really doubt these companies are growing, but the question is, are they growing as well as they claim? Who knows? There isn't as much transparency there as there is with US companies. There isn't much scrutiny as there is with US companies. And at the end of the day, the government there pretty much controls the whole country and companies in the country. So you pretty much have to take their word for it. And as of late with the whole global issue, I don't think that a lot of people trust their word. Also remember that most, if not all, Chinese companies are traded on the US exchanges as ADRs. So you don't exactly own direct shares in these companies, but that's an issue for another day. But anyways, that's kind of what happened here, and this just kind of makes me less inclined to invest in Chinese companies and actually leads me to lose confidence in these companies here as investments. And funny enough, just a few weeks ago, I actually sold out of my only direct Chinese holding that I have, Alibaba, because I do not want to have this sort of risk and uncertainty in my portfolio. If I can't trust the way the company operates and the country operates, there's a huge lack of transparency and I'm not interested as an investor. There are many incredible American, Canadian, or European businesses that are much more transparent and would give me a lot more peace of mind with my investments, so I personally choose to put my money there. Now, if you were an investor in Luckin Coffee or you're considering investing in Luckin Coffee, I gotta ask you, have you looked at their biggest competitor in China, Starbucks? Starbucks to me is where the real opportunity lies because this is a worldwide brand, a trusted American brand, and a very strong business that is growing rapidly in China. In fact, in the last year, Starbucks opened another 629 new stores in China, showing that they believe that this is a huge opportunity and growth is strong across the country. But with Starbucks, you get the benefit of both worldwide and Chinese exposure, so you lower your risk but still have incredible growth opportunity. Starbucks pulls in almost $27 billion annually in revenue, resulting in nearly $4 billion in net income, and it's a very healthy, almost $80 billion business. As a result, they also pay out a nice hefty dividend to investors with about a 2.5% starting yield, 10 years of growth, and a growth rate of a whopping 22% year over year for their dividends. The dividend is very sustainable, and I think Starbucks will no doubt be a dividend aristocrat and probably even a dividend king in the future as well. And here's the best part about Starbucks, guys. The stock recently corrected 50%, and although it has climbed a bit from these lows, it's still sitting at incredible value in my opinion. So if you believe that Starbucks can come out of this global issue stronger than ever, and if you believe they will continue to be number one in China for coffee, why would you choose to invest in Luckin Coffee over Starbucks? In my opinion, the reward potential at these prices for Starbucks makes a lot more sense, it's a lot less riskier, and they pay out a nice dividend as well. So I think at this point I kind of answered the question here, do I own Luckin Coffee? No, I do not, but I do own Starbucks. And honestly, I think this is a good thing for Starbucks. And if you were following the stock, you actually may have noticed that when this news came out about Luckin Coffee, Starbucks stock actually popped like 5% or something on the day. And that's because investors now know that there's really only one option that's growing and trustable in China when it comes to coffee. I also think this may result in some consumers losing confidence in the company. Maybe they're lying about other things, who knows? So I think that Starbucks may actually benefit greatly from this in China. Even at the current price of around $5 per share, I do not believe that Luckin Coffee is a healthy business. They claim to have around $800 million in cash, but I don't know if that's true. Also, last year they claimed to have lost around $250 million, which again is probably not true. The numbers may be a lot worse here, and this could be the beginning of the end for this company. Many of you may be looking at this chart and thinking, well, this was a $50 stock just a few months ago and now it's $5. I can easily invest here and get a 10x return on my investment. But in my opinion, thinking that Luckin will get back to $50 is very unlikely, at least not anytime soon. And the stock may actually be in more trouble in the near future, which could push prices even lower. But anyways, I'm personally staying away from Luckin Coffee. I'm not interested in the company and not interested in investing in them. But on the flip side, like I said, I am still buying Starbucks at these prices because this stock is so attractive, it's trading at such incredible valuations right now. And if you hold this over the long term, I think Starbucks itself can probably be a 10x stock over the long term. But I'd love to hear from you if you hold Luckin stock or if you're considering buying it. What are the reasons you're considering buying it? I hope it's not just because the stock dropped to $5 per share. I hope you have some fundamental reasons as to why you think it's a good investment. But either way, let me know in the comment section down below and we can discuss further. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to invest positively and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.